Yo, what's good, everybody? Jordan here, back with another video. I hope everybody's having a blessed and productive day. Honestly, it's been too long, bro. It's been too long since my last video, my last upload. I think it's been like 5 or 6 months. And I can make all the excuses in the world and sit here and tell you about my creative juices have vanished and all this, that, and the third and what life has brought. But honestly, man, I've been kind of lazy and just procrastinating making the videos. I've still been trading. I think the last video was a road trip video, so I got to get back on these, man. I got to get back on these. So without any further ado, with that being said, in this video today, I'm going to be breaking down the week that I had trading NQ, the NASDAQ, and I'm going to start from Monday and basically go until Friday, which is today. And I think this week I only took 2 trades out of the 4 days that I was actively trading, or really the 3 days that I was actively trading, because Thursday I took the day off because I had 3 profitable days back to back to back. So I came up with this new rule for myself. Once I have 3 profitable days, kind of discretionary, on that 4th day I'm gonna take off, and so I think that'll keep my stress levels, a little bit lower, and keep the juices, keep the trading juices flowing. So with that being said, you guys, I'm gonna jump right into it. Just bear with me though, bro, in this video. Like I said, it's been a little while, so let's get into it. So yeah, right now we got Monday. If you look at the bottom, it's 7 o'clock at this crosshair right here. And honestly, Monday is a day where I like to come into the market not too heavy, not too aggressive. I just really want to see what's going on. If I can find a position, great, I'll take it with with minimal risk, and it really won't be too heavy of a day, too large of a day. So with that being said, we got the 8:30 open right here. I'll drop down to the 5-minute. We got the 8:30 open, and honestly, Monday, bro, I remember Monday, it was just shot straight up. The open came 8:30 Central Time. It just shot up with no pullback whatsoever, and it just kept going, no pullback. And something that I've been trying to notice and realize in my trading journey, and just for my trading career moving forward, is when to strike when the iron's hot, pretty much. When are the market conditions right? And beginning of the year, I kind of had a little bit of trouble with that, and just noticing the chop or not noticing the chop, and just trying to play around in it. And a lot of the time when the open would happen, price might shoot up without any type of pullback. I might miss the move, my opportunity. So from there, it would cause me to chase. It would just cause me to chase. Like, look at this, but this is trash. The only opportunity that you would have gotten, and it would have had to have been pre-market, is this opportunity here, and you could ride that bitch up, whatever. But as far as my strategy goes, I don't have a pullback. I don't have, we got the liquidity sweep down here a little bit with price coming down to London lows and then continuing up. But again, like I said, that's during pre-market. And something that I've had trouble with not up until this point, I've really gotten a good handle on it, is again chasing price after the opportunity has presented itself. And as you can see, I mean, you might be able to take a buy here, put your stop loss below, and then ride that up for, what's that, 50 points, and that's a good 50 points. But it's also 10:45, 10:50. It's almost 3 hours at the charts, and so at that point, you kind of have to think to yourself, like, what's your mindset? Like, what's my mindset during that time? Do I want to chase this? And at that time, it's like I'm thinking about my mindset. I do want to chase it. And where that comes from, it comes from a little bit of greed, because, we don't have to trade this, but we want to. We want to take that risk, even though it's getting late in the day and, our screen time's kind of running out. We're going to decide to take that trade anyway, and then, possibly blow the account. So with that being said, it's kind of a long little rant right there. I decided to leave that alone and stop for the rest of the day. On Monday, I think I stopped around 10 o'clock, which is crazy because, 10 o'clock, after 10 o'clock, price decided to push up and give some points and a little bit of money right there. So got to take this off. There we go. So, yep, we're going to go on to Tuesday and just let it play out. But, yeah, I think one of my biggest strengths that I've just kind of been getting better at this year is, again, knowing when the market conditions are right and when's a good time to strike. And honestly, I think that creating this, 3-day, 3 profitable, and the same thing works on the red side too. If I have 2 or 3 red days in a row, I have to take that 3rd or 4th day off because that's the rule. And, that's what's going to keep us stable and, just honing in on our longevity, in this industry, I guess, if you will. So right over here, we got Tuesday. And, I get started at 8:30. Not at 8:30, but I get to the desk about 1 hour before the 8:30 open happens. So we got 6 o'clock, 7, 6:50. Okay, boom. We got a little bit of action. So one thing that I like to do when I first get on the charts is, first and foremost, I like to mark my lows. I like to mark the overnight lows and London lows. So we got the low there. We have a low way down here. We have a low here. And then we have a low here. So from that point on, I'm waiting for any type of liquidity sweep. And when I mean by a sweep, I want for price to come down, beat the area, continue, and then, make its decision. Either you're going to sell even further down to the downside, or we're going to reverse, give some bullish confirmation to the upside, or we're going to chop around and consolidate and just range right there in the middle. So with this red candle, it's 7:34. So we're going to have to go an hour ahead. So, all right, we're at 8:05, 8:20. Was that 8:15? I can't do math. And then what this is right here, this is, we're going to drop to the 1 minute, and then 8:29. So the next candle is going to be 8:30. And then boom, what do we have? We have a liquidity sweep. If you remember these lines, these are all lows that I marked up at the beginning of the session for liquidity, for price to come down, hit those targets in that area, and then basically decide what it wants to do. If price does want to run back up to the upside, I'll look for this type of movement here, a nice higher high, higher low situation, and then I'll get in pretty much on the 4th leg or the 2nd round of higher high, higher lows, whatever you want to call it. And I need to stop doing that. And I'll just enter in on the break of the high of the high from the pullback, if that makes any sense. I'll show you right here. So from there, like I said, we got the liquidity sweep. And if you go down to the 5 minute, we start to, okay, I thought we were going to start to reject, but we do not from the 5 minute. From the 15 minute, we start to reject, and also from the 30 minute, we start to reject as well. So when you start to see these long wicks, especially on higher time frames, going away from an area, that means that there is opposite pressure going to the upside based from the opposite of that area, if that makes any sense. So from here on the 15 minute and the 30 minute, we have this long wick, which means that there was some rejection from the bottom, from the downside, and then a push up, meaning that there's pressure down here pushing price back up to the upside, kind of where it came from. So I hop down to my 1 minute. It's where I like to take my entries. And again, I'm just gonna put this on the side. I like to have something like this form. It's not always gonna be perfect, but nonetheless, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, got a higher high. Then a pullback for the higher low. Chopping around a little bit. Double bottoms. Okay. So double bottoms, equal bottoms, whatever you want to call them, equal lows. Equal lows for me is an indication that we're forming an area of support. When we form an area of support, that's where I like to look for bullish confirmation to take my trade, to take that to the upside, put my stop loss below the structure, and then again take that to the upside. So from there, we got we got equal lows, a double bottom, something that we like to see from the double bottom. Again, that same movement. I don't really try to change it, but we want a same movement, that same movement, and maybe an engulfing candlestick, beating this structure here. Here as well, over the EMAs, again creating higher high, higher low situation, just stacking our confirmations. So let's see what we get. and engulfing. And then from there, okay. So sometimes we just have to adjust. Why? Because from in this green box area from here, it's like, all right, we might be expecting a pullback, but we don't get a pullback. Instead, we get continuation above the EMA, above the VWAP. When price breaks the VWAP, if it rejects, then I'll look to sell. If it closes above, I'll look for price to defend that VWAP, defend the closure above it, create a little bit of structure, the same structure that we see down here at the bottom. I'm not saying that it's going to be an equal low or whatever it may be, but from that structure, from that movement, you know, I can see that price is pretty much defending the VWAP. And same thing that I want to see at the bottom is the same thing that I would like to see at the top. So if we get a push above VWAP, a pull back here, up, down, up. Again, I mean, that still creates a double bottom, honestly. That still creates a double bottom. So from there, that's what I like to see. Once I got this black candlestick, at first it was down here creating this wick, but then it pushed up off of the EMA, then coming back over this range and breaking the tops a little bit. So I tried to get in a little early on that entry, entering there, putting my stop loss below these EMAs, or just that one EMA. I'm gonna erase those lines right there, and I took this trade for 2 to 1, I believe. 2 to 1, 32 points. We'll let this play out, and then there it is. It's about a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minute trade maybe, and yeah, that's it, man. That's just honestly what where I take my trades ratio wise, 2 to 1. I can hold, move stop loss to break even, especially if I have, say, 4 contracts on the board. I might be able to take 2 off, sell 2 here, move my stop loss to break even, and then let that rip to the upside if it wants to do that. But for right now, I'm just trading 2 to 1s, man. I'm trading 2 to 1s, and I'm happy with that. So this was Tuesday's trade. I was a one and done here, and yeah, I just took this trade and got the fuck off the charts. Honestly, that's really what you want to do. You just want to get your piece of the pie and get the fuck on, bro. Get your piece of the pie, get your trade, get your money, and get out of there. Go do something else. All right, so let's get to Wednesday. Let's go to the 15-minute. Wednesday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are the only days that I took my trades. Thursday was that 3-day rule in effect, so I took Thursday off, and then today, Fridays, I usually don't trade Fridays either. I'm still collecting my data for the Fridays because last Friday there was a pretty nice move, honestly, and this Friday it was a move off of the open rip, maybe 5 minutes after the open. So, and on top of that, it was a freaking 70, 80, 90 point move, 100 point move. I have no idea what it's doing right now, but yeah, it would have been nice. It would have been nice. Nice little payday for a Friday. So 5:40. Let's go a little bit further. Let's go and get to the 7 o'clock mark, and then I'll mark the lows. And honestly, that's one of the first things that I like to do. Come into the charts. You know, I'm checking news. I'm checking the overnight lows, and I'm just marking them out, seeing if. And I'm also marking the highs as well, seeing if price can go and take out some highs, maybe go and hit that sell side to the bottom. But I don't like to sell too much, honestly. I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one who thinks that way. So anyway, we got 3 o'clock London lows here. Down here, we got early, no, actually not really early New York, but we got late London lows down here. This London low kind of coincides with the midnight low as well. And we have this high here and London high there. So we're just going to flip this down. We got 7 o'clock right here. We're going to flip over to 8:30, 7:45. We got one more hour. So we got 8:10, 8:15. And okay, cool. There's the 8:30 push. Another ripper off of the open, right? So what do we do? And I ain't gonna lie, old Jordan, bro. Last year you give me this scenario, I'm trying to chase this. I'm honestly trying to chase this. I'm buying right here. I'm waiting for this pullback. I'm buying again, and although it does make you money, you know, look what it does after that. You know, boom. Look what it does after that. And you think about the emotions that go into this shit, bro. You know, and just the intuition that you should have, or not even should have, but just the intuition that you consistently build day after day, week after week, month after month, and then year after year, eventually, you know that these opening ranges, these opening drives, a lot of the times they fade, you know. And if I were to take my buy here, okay, we get the 30 or 40 points, but you know, what's telling me that price is going to come back down? You know, damn near nothing, I guess, besides hitting these highs here. You could take profit here, you know, but if you're unaware of those highs being there, then you're not going to take profit. You're going to let it run. It's going to come back down. It's going to hit your entry. You're going to go into drawdown. And then from, you know, me personally, I'm going to enter in again. I'm going to hit another fucking buy. And then, you know, and I'm not doing that now, but I'm saying, you know, the old me, without, you know, showing up every day, staying consistent, you know, I'm chasing this trade. I'm chasing the open momentum. And even though, like today, on Friday, the open momentum, you know, and on Monday, that bitch just popped and ran to the upside, it's not always like that. And usually it comes on, like, Fridays or Mondays, and more times I see it happen on Mondays. And, you know, that FOMO kicks in, and you just have to tell yourself to, you know, leave that shit alone. Leave it alone. It's not good. It's not smart. And more times than not, people get cooked, and that's where they blow their accounts. So, with that being said, we're at 839. We got equal lows breaking here. Something that I do remember about this day on Wednesday is the fact that, you know, I'm going to erase this line here, erase this one. Price didn't come this low. Price did come this low to touch these lows here. These 3 o'clock, 3:30, you know, late to early London session lows. Price came over, swept it, left a little bit of a wick. But it didn't give me the equal bottom, the equal low. Some could call this an equal low, but it didn't give me the equal low that I like to see, nor did it give me any type of higher high, higher low situation going on. It just kind of shot straight up. Like, you got a little bit of a pullback right here. Could have taken that, but then again, that's only one round of higher low, higher high, higher lows, and I'm not going to take that. And if I do take that, what happens? Okay, price goes up. But then what happens? It pushes right back down. And then you got to think about the psychology that goes into that, and like the emotions. Again, if this is last year, in my mind, I'm going back and forth. What do I do? I just saw price come back up, come down, you know, hit my entry. Maybe I went break even, and, you know, this trade went break even, and I don't get anything. And like, okay, well, do I re-enter? And so it's just a bunch of thoughts that go on in this process, in this sequence here. And if you're not true to your game, if you're not true to your strategy, and you're not taking that same strategy every time, and then during the times where you might take the first leg instead of the second one, it works, but then it fades. Okay, it's like you're not really getting that real data, you know, based off of your strategy that you're supposed to take off of the same criteria most of the time. Now, there's a lot of discretionary that does go into it. Like, for example, you know, one could have taken this because it came back into range and then beat the VWAP and then beat the EMA and then taken that up to the upside. But again, that doesn't show for me, that doesn't give me confirmation. Whenever I also see price push up without any higher highs or higher lows and structure building going towards the upside, more times than not, I see a fake out back to the downside, you know, and then, you know, people are getting trapped going to the upside and sellers are taking over and then pushing price back down. So, you know, I don't want that to happen to me. And, you know, sometimes it will, but I didn't want it to let it happen to me on this Wednesday. So, with this, I sat through all this. Honestly, I sat through all this shit. I sat through this chop. There was a bullish flag that kind of formed right here. You could see this form a little bit. That is the wrong line. You can see this form. Black lines. Can't really see too much. You know, bullish flag forms. Usually that's a bullish pattern, and I could have did something like this, entry there, stop loss below, and then take that to the upside. And this even played out, right? And you gotta think about the emotions on that one too. Twice you kind of seen price kind of take off without you. 70 points. Fuck. Come back down. Could have bought there. Not really too sure. I just saw this chop and I really wasn't comfortable in it. Didn't want to take an unnecessary risk. But from there, I could have taken one here, honestly. Up, down. Bullish pendant to the upside. I like those. And honestly, looking forward, I think that's a place where I can add in on my position if I am already in the position down here at the bottom. Once price gets up here and makes, this bullish pendant, something like that, bullish flag, makes an area of support, then maybe I can add on to that position. But I'm just gonna keep on refining that. And basically, man, like I said, I let all of this play out, and this was just a long morning, and it's all good. It's all good. But I do like to see price come down, beat this low, come back down to break VWAP. It didn't exactly hit this low here, but for the sake of the trade and for the sake of price at the time, I just wanted price to come back down, beat some type of low, give me some type of correction, come back to fill these gaps maybe on these recent structure highs that it also broke as well. And again, what I like to see when price comes down to break lows or the VWAP is equal lows, double bottoms, equal lows, double bottoms, to give me my movement, higher high, higher low situation back to the upside. And honestly, that's what I got. And I swear to God, bro, I was about to turn the camera off. Stop recording, and cut the day, cut the trade morning for the day. And it was like 9:36, 9:45 at the time, something like that. And yeah, it was like 9:20, 9:26. And I just saw this forming, and I was like, okay, well, hey, we got equal lows. Let me just sit here for, another 10 to 20 minutes until 10 o'clock and, see if this bitch plays out. And from there, I'm like, okay, if we get a higher high, higher low, higher high, I'm entering. I'm entering, and I'm not hesitating. So instantly, we get the higher high, this black candle. We get the higher low with this red candle. We get another push. I consider that another higher high because of the wick that it left, and it did initially push there. It did come back down, but then we get this big push down. So it's like, all right, if I would have taken, without the confirmation, buys at that black candle area and then the red candle area, I'd be in some immense drawdown right now. Not even no crazy drawdown, but a good 10-point drawdown right now. So, but what do I want to see? I want to see price break the VWAP, come back down to retest the VWAP, give an area of support, basically the same thing that it did over here, but on an EMA. Give that support of the VWAP, defend it, maybe come back down to reject it one last time before price pushes up, thus beating these highs over here. Discretionary, you can get in a little early if you want to, something like that. Let it close. Good confirmation. It closed above VWAP, rejected it, and then also closed above the low that it broke and above the EMA right here. And for me, that's just good confirmation. So I can take that all day long, honestly. Target wise, again, I'm going for 2-to-1s with my stop loss right below there, and I'm going for 2-to-1s. And you could take these and hold on to them, maybe take these to the top side and grab the full liquidity. But for me personally, I just wanted to take this to my 2-to-1 target and have it hit right there. And honestly, if you let this bitch play forward, again, it hit that liquidity target for another 30 points. And so, again, if you have 4 contracts, maybe you sell 2 at 2-to-1, move your stop loss to break even, and let the rest run to the upside to whatever liquidity that you're targeting. And that'll be what it is. But for me right now, I'm just running my 2-to-1s, and I'm happy with that, man. I'm happy with that. And most of the times they are base hits, doubles. Sometimes they turn into banger home runs and triples and home runs. So, like I said, I'm happy with that. And yeah, this day on Wednesday, I was really happy with the patience and the fact that I was about to quit for the day and just stop recording. But once I saw these equal lows, something told me to stick it out and let it play through. And I was just happy about the patience and that the job, I felt that I did my job well that day. And honestly, that's all we want as a trader. I just want to be as traders, I just want to be process oriented, not so much focus on the reward and the money aspect that comes after that, but more or less focus on the process, being able to sit here for 2 hours until 10 o'clock and not seeing a trade, or waiting until the last 20 minutes of the session and then getting your setup, then taking it and having the patience to let it fully play out and then fully develop. So I'm just happy for myself about that. And definitely not anything to brag on, and it's just something that's like, put your foot on and stay consistent, and just for me to kind of build on that momentum going into next week. So that was pretty much my week, honestly. And like I said earlier, that third profitable day, I'm taking the fourth day off, or the second profitable day, I'm going to take, I'm taking that day off as well, or the third day off. And again, that works for the same goes for the red days as well. And yeah, I'm just going to, try to run everything like that and keep, not trading from a place of scarcity, and worry about what's coming next in the future, and what can I trade, how much money can I get from this trade to pay for this, can we go here, can we travel there, can we move. I gotta stop thinking that way, man, because honestly it rushes my thinking process, and I'm not good when I'm rushed. I'm not good in any aspect in life, honestly, when I'm rushed and I'm sped up and thinking, and I'm creating anxiety for myself. And I'm skipping my meditations. I'm not good I'm not a good Jordan there. I'm not my best Jordan at that point. So yeah, man. So I left Thursday alone, and on Fridays I don't trade Fridays. Although I'm thinking about it now. I'm thinking about it. I just don't like I like the day off on Friday, man. Who doesn't like a 3-day weekend? Let's fucking be honest here. Let's be honest. So yeah, Thursday, man. I didn't like Thursday at all. This is a bunch of chop, and honestly, even though I took off, I still peeked at the market. I got a whole bunch of stuff done in the yard and just at the house. Got some errands done as well, and just got a lot of other work done. And I was able to come back and peek at the markets, and just something during this time right here, the 8:30, 8:40 area, I just didn't like the chop at all. And I just was telling myself, even though people were taking advantage of the sells, for me personally, that wasn't an area where I was liking to play around, or the idea, if I was active that day, of playing around and just trying to trade that bitch back and forth. Excuse me. But I do know some people who made some good money on yesterday, on Thursday. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. That is it. That was my day. That was my week. And then today is Friday, and then you'll see price catch up to where we are currently. And yeah, even today had a nice little ripper off of the open, and it's just a move that you got to be ready for during pre-market. You got to be ready for it during pre-market. And if you're not, then you're gonna miss this shit. And the only other way you're gonna get in is on the 1 minute. And a lot of people, especially myself, definitely before, prior to this time of the year, but it was getting stuck on the 1 minute, especially last year, just getting stuck on the 1 minute, and forgetting to scroll out, forgetting to zoom out, and forgetting to look at the bigger picture. We always have to look at the bigger picture. Look at the 30 minute, the 1 hour, the 2 hour, 4 hour, see where the direction is, where are we going. And if that move, if we're pulling back on the 4 hour, and on the 1 hour we have some type of bullish patterns going on. We got a bullish flag somewhere, maybe some equal lows setting up from 230. You got a little push on the 1 hour, pulling back during New York session. Who knows? Based off of that 4 hour move, you could take the lower time frame moves and take advantage of them going to the upside, or whichever direction the 4 hour is going in. It could be the same thing on the 4 hour going to the downside. Price pushing down to the downside on the 4 hour, breaking structure, but then pulling back. But then you go down to the 1 hour, the 30 minute, the 15 minute, and you start to see, price not being able to go any higher. You start to see divergence form, an area of resistance instead of an area of support. You might be able to notice, a double bottom might form, and then your lower lows and your lower highs, and you take those second legs going down to the downside. So yeah, just some food for thought there. But yeah, this is where we're at currently. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to make this video too much longer. I don't really know. 30-minute fucking video. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm posting. I'm not editing this at all. That's what it's going to be. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. If you stayed into the end, ask me any type of questions that you have down below in the comments. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, hit me up on Instagram if you want to do that, if you want to connect any further. And that's it, you guys. Like I said, I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.